But with that said, let's now turn our attention to David and Anne Murimi. Karibuni tana to the show.
Asante.
It's good to have you here. And you guys have quite a story. You are married. Which year did you get married?
Got married in 2015.
2015.
August 15th.
August 15th, 2015. Hey, nice. 15/8/15.
Yeah.
Was that on purpose?
Well, I think I would say coincidence.
Coincidence.
But I think also an answered prayer.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, good for you. All right. How would you describe the first year of your marriage? Like right after you got married, you know, what were your anticipations? I don't know how long you guys had dated, but maybe Anne, you can just walk us through your journey towards your wedding.
Okay. We met in campus in the year 2011. So we actually dated for 4 years.
Okay.
It was exciting, a lot of energy, adventure. Even if we were help people, like we spent the few coins that we had to just enjoy. And the first year of marriage, we were looking forward. I was actually looking forward to this, you know, to getting married and having someone by my side, like this is my husband, not just my boyfriend.
Yeah.
And I got excited. I was also fearful because of course I had a lot of fear, but again I was sure I had someone by my side, and we looked forward to have a wonderful time. Many children. He wanted 2, I wanted 7.
Wow.
And
usually it's the other way around. Like the dude wants a lot. When she told you 7, ukaanza kusweat.
Wow. Yeah, you know, of course I was scared. You know, when you hear about children, you thinking, okay, they will all need to be brought up.
Yes,
they all need to go to
school
good
fees.
school. They all need to have good health care and all those things.
Yeah.
So as a man, you are scared when
Of
you hear the
course.
number. Yeah, but
7.
yeah, but I knew like every baby comes in. No, that quote that says every baby comes with their own their own food, and so I knew God will provide.
Amen.
I loved, since I was young, I always loved children.
Yeah.
Teaching Sunday school.
Right.
Even now I just love children. So I knew I wanted many.
Yeah.
So 2 was quite limiting, and we took time arguing and several dates.
Yeah.
So that now we come to a consensus.
Which was?
Not 7. That's to my disadvantage, but not 2 again.
Okay, okay.
We can do 4.
Okay.
Everyone had to adjust.
well, that has not been agreed yet.
We can't do 7, but we can adjust.
Kutane hapo katikati.
Tukutane katikati at least.
Amazing, amazing. Well, that's really wonderful, and it's great to see, you know, joy like that with between couples, particularly one that has been through really difficult times, right? So David and Anne Murimi are actually parents to 3 angels and 1 living baby girl. So tell us about your first pregnancy. Were you anticipating to get pregnant right when you did? I understand it was a honeymoon baby.
Yes. Yes. And for us, we had agreed because we had this energy, wanted to start now this family.
Yeah.
So we knew, like, we wanted just to do it immediately to have a child.
Yeah.
And God is good. I got pregnant, like immediately now after the wedding, and I got excited. I remember the time, you know, that testing period, and we check and it's 2 lines.
Yeah.
We got excited. Of course, we were happy. Jumped in that house. It was a small house, yes, but that sitting room, you were just jumping up and down for the good news.
Yeah.
We were excited. I look forward also to have cravings. Those cravings that I hear people
Kumtuma in the middle of the night. Nataka ice cream.
I actually wanted to take advantage of.
Nataka waru zile za Kirinyaga sijui wapi.
Soda baridi. Na ni saa 6 na hakuna soda kwa nyumba. Either way, and especially take advantage of the sweet things like pizza, ice cream. You know, I wanted to revenge, but so it started off well. Fortunately, the pregnancy, now I started craving for the, you know, like an old mama, boiled malenge. She didn't take me to the sweet things that I wanted.
She seems like the sanguine in you guys' relationship.
Well, both of us are.
David is just sitting here calmly, just like,
I have to listen. both of us are, yeah. But I think she can
He's
go
a
on with
bit
the story.
sanguine choleric.
Uh-huh.
I'm sanguine phlegmatic.
Okay.
I'm a bit also
So
a
now you're
phleg.
huku craving malenge.
Yeah. So I would boil and carry to work.
Okay.
I had good appetite
Yeah.
also. And then that was cut short.
Right.
I didn't enjoy that much. So we lost our first pregnancy. Of course, now with the energy
Yeah.
at 20 weeks. Yeah,
Right.
the
Yeah,
first
you're right.
pregnancy we lost at 20 weeks.
Right.
So you can imagine we are coming up from the skies, and now it's we don't know what is death,
Right.
like death of a child.
Yeah.
We were expecting this baby. We were thinking like having a baby, it's a normal thing. You say you get married, you get pregnant, and you have this baby. That's what we thought, but well, we found something
It was
different.
something
Yeah.
different.
Yes.
David, walk me through your feelings at the time. Like, obviously you were excited for the baby as well. It sounds like you guys are just such a young, bubbly, energetic couple.
Yeah.
And then to get a blow like that one for losing the child.
Yeah.
Can you just walk us through your frame of mind then and how you were comforting one another or comforting her when you're also grieving?
You know, in this African culture, it's usually very hard for men to express how they are feeling. When I remember that day we went for our usual clinic. I was working at Kenyatta National Hospital at the time, so she came, found me at work. We went and did the scan. We wanted to get to learn about both the gender of the baby. It's at 20 weeks, so we want to learn the gender and also double it up with what is usually done after 3 months called the anomaly scan to know whether the baby is fine. So we are walking, through the clinic, the doctor's office, then goes to have the scan. Then we are told that the baby is does not have a heartbeat. So of course, it is scary. I would hear the terminologies, I would understand.
Because you worked as a nurse.
Yes. So she couldn't understand, so I did not want to break the news to her.
Right.
It's a tough moment, so...
Yeah, that's tough. So the doctor is saying all these terms, you fully understand them.
Yes.
But you know she doesn't understand
I knew
them.
she doesn't understand. So at that time, of course, you have to compose yourself and know how to break the news to her. You have to hold your tears if you have any. In fact, I think that's one of the very few times I've had to shed my tears. So we went from the sonographer's office, that's the one who was doing the ultrasound, then goes to the senior. She referred us to her senior. Go there. Then when we are at the senior's office, he picks the intercom, the phone, the office phone, so calls the junior sonographer and asks, is this the IUFD you are talking about? IUFD is intrauterine fetal death. So I would understand. Her, she can't understand. So of course she...
Did they know you were a nurse?
I'm not sure because I was not in my uniform.
Yeah.
So at that time, she noticed my facial expression has changed. So it becomes tough. At this moment, she's wondering what's happening.
Yeah.
Why have we, first of all, been referred to another sonographer? So it becomes tough for her, but she doesn't know. So at that time, we were, of course, referred back to the earlier sonographer, picked the report, went to the doctor. So when I'm looking at the report, I know everything that it's saying. It's saying that the baby is no more. The baby is gone. We have to go back to square one once again. So we went to the doctor's office. The doctor, of course, is here breaking the news. I knew I could not handle her and handle my own self at that moment. So I called 2 of my colleagues.
Okay.
So they came. Of course, she guessed this is not very good. So we have the news now broken by the doctor.
Right.
It's tough, so I left her with my 2 colleagues.
Okay.
I went and hid. Of course, I remember I cried.
Wow.
I had never been devastated as I was that day before. So you cry when you are away from her. You come where she is, you have to be strong. You have to stand tall and be the man. So of course we walked through the journey, but I need to say that it was tough. I think that, as I said, was the toughest moment of my life. I've lost a parent. I'm a last born, so the bond between a mother and a child, and the last born. So I've lost my mother, but I don't think it was that devastating.
As losing your child.
Yes, as losing my child.
Wow.
We are thinking we have taken really good care of the
Right,
baby.
right.
We have done the best we could. We have taken all the supplements. Being a nurse, of course, it made it easier for her. We knew what to take when. But now, coming to this point, you're dealing with children, with mothers who want to actually flush out their children. So it's the exact opposite.
Absolutely.
Yes.
What a story this is here by David and Anne. And we're going to take a short break now, but they'll be joining me after the break, because not only did they experience this trauma once or twice, but 3 times. But in it too is a story of hope, as they also do have a very beautiful daughter now with them. And so we're going to take a short break and then we'll be back. This is Full Circle with Joyce. Stay tuned. So welcome back to the show. I'm here with David and Anne Murimi, a really lovely couple, I have to say. And we're here talking about their story. It is one of loss and restoration. They are parents to 4, 3 angels and 1 girl. And they've just shared with us their experience of a honeymoon baby and their excitement only for the baby to unfortunately pass away. Just a few weeks, after conception. And were you able to find out at that point then what happened? Because as you're saying, and I can totally hear your frustration, because you've done everything right. You've been taking care of yourselves. You are not doing anything wrong. Taking all the supplements. You're a nurse. I'm sure you are on top of it, making sure that she was doing things right. Were you able to find out at that point what happened?
Yes, we were. I think because of taking very good care of the baby and the mother, the baby was overexcited, so very playful.
Yeah.
So she tied herself with a cord while playing. So it was a true knot on the cord. So there was no blood flow to the baby. So that's how the baby passed on.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. And again, that's not anything that is on your own part, right?
Yeah.
There's no way that you would have known that was
absolutely
happening. But then now, at some point, you decided to try again. Was it a decision? Maybe I should start there, to try again. And how did you approach that? And having attempted this one time already, and it didn't go as you'd have wanted. How was it then? Coming to terms with, okay, should we try this again? Was it a decision? Was it an oops? Did it just happen? How was it?
It was not easy. Maybe to take you back, it was not a very good experience because I was not sick.
Yeah.
I had just taken an off from work, go to clinic, and maybe the following day maybe go back to work. And
so you were going in for a routine checkup?
Just a routine checkup. I didn't even have my bag of clothes. Just had maybe a small handbag, with some yogurt and those things, maybe to keep eating. And once I delivered, I remember now the induction, that was happening like the first time. Remember, I had not delivered. So the induction happened. Then I like saying this because also it helps me out, because it was quite horrible for me through that induction. And then at some point I had to throw up because of those pains. Then there was that bin, that black bin. So the cleaner came, cleaned, and then threw the trash in that bin. I was alone in that room because they could not take me to the labor ward where I would see babies, live babies. So once I delivered the girl, she was a girl, around midnight. The nurse, who was, I think he was tired, I don't know, or attitude or something, because he showed me the girl, the size of this palm. And then she told me, look, she was a girl, and he just threw her in that bin where I had seen, the trash that's being thrown.
Oh my gosh.
He just threw her inside there. And because I was innocent, I thought, actually, maybe she should be thrown in that dustbin because she's dead.
To be.
No. Yeah, I didn't know. I didn't know that because I knew she was dead, and I was also in pain. But now what disturbed me after that, the nightmares. that's when I realized we had a connection with this baby.
Right.
Because I would see the nurse, I would see the baby, and I would see him throwing the dustbin. So I would wake him up. When we were discharged, it took like several months. I would wake up at night, shout and telling him they're throwing her now. They're throwing her in the dustbin. So our first month was a nightmare month. And then when they started now to clear, now I came back to myself and said, you know what?
Yeah.
The 7, we had agreed about 4. So
Yeah.
let's try again.
Yeah.
Let's try again. So we didn't wait for long.
Okay.
The only thing that disturbed us is that
Yeah.
nightmare thing. And
Of course, and the way that nurse did it.
yes.
And there's a way to do that, right?
Absolutely.
Were you ever able to report him, or was any action taken against him or anything?
No, we didn't take it. There was someone else who was in charge, and we actually expressed ourselves to her.
Yeah.
And I think they handled it in maybe they went and told him. But being us, I would say, like, the hospitals and the health facilities, maybe they can handle it in a... I know the baby will be thrown at some point, will be
Right,
a trash,
it
but
doesn't
at
need to
least
be in
don't
front
show
of
me.
you. Yeah.
Maybe handle her or the baby with care and with dignity. That this is a
Absolutely.
human being, and then go and do whatever you need to do
Right.
when I'm not seeing, because that helps the mother or the parents heal faster. Because when he came, he was asking me, "Have you delivered?" I think I have delivered, but check her in that bin. You see, now he had to go and search for her in that bin, and he was also mourning. So
Yes.
that gave us a hard time to heal.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But I salute your courage, though, because you're saying after that you were still on track to your number 7.
Yes, we wanted to
amazing.
be, so we didn't wait.
You're
We went
amazing.
back.
Oh my goodness.
I think healing can only be complete. Healing after child loss,
Yeah.
that's in my own estimation, can only be complete if you get another child. Of course, well, it's not within your power, but whenever it is, I think every couple, every parent would want to get another one,
Sure.
so that then they
It's not
can.
a replacement,
Yes.
but
Yeah.
it's just...
I mean, it helps you
feel-
to
yeah, it
also
helps
be
you
able
to
to
deal.
heal. Yeah, yeah. So for us, it was clear as soon as she was ready,
Yeah.
we wanted to have a baby,
Yeah.
and we did.
God bless you for that.
Thank
and praise
you.
God for that. You got a girl.
Yes, yes.
girl
An amazing
again.
girl.
Yeah.
Yeah, we love her. We treasure that girl. She's called Shanice. Shanice Wendo. She's a blessing to us. We look at her and we see the faithfulness of God.
Amen.
And you also realize having a baby, it's not about you. It's not about
Yeah.
how careful you are, how
Yes,
many
yes,
walks
yes.
you are taking because you want natural. You know,
Yes.
the vaginal birth or the CS
Yeah,
one.
yeah.
It's all about God.
Right.
It's all about God
Yeah.
because
That's what the
that one
scripture
he
says.
gave us.
Children are heritage from
Correct.
the Lord.
Yes, yes,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
because
absolutely.
that pregnancy was easy. She was playing as well as the other baby was playing. She was. I had energy,
Yeah.
but we also had fear.
Yeah. of
Every
course.
time she stopped kicking,
Yeah.
we rushed to the hospital. We did so many scans just to make sure
She's okay.
we don't want those news again. And there's
Yeah.
no
I
heartbeat.
think we would have a scan once every month, sometimes
Wow.
twice.
Wow.
Yeah, so whenever we would, I mean, I would of course be very concerned, is the baby playing? So whenever she says no, I did not want to even give it a chance.
Yeah.
We wanted to be sure, so we would rush to the hospital, did
Okay.
as many scans as we possibly could.
Yeah.
So I think it was about 10 or so
Yeah.
scans within one pregnancy.
Amazing.
And quite a
amazing.
handful, yeah.
And thereafter, then, of course, you did try again for more children, and unfortunately, 2 others did pass away.
Yeah.
How do you find the strength to talk about your story?
I would say this one it's just God, because if I was asked, if God asked me, and which path do you want to follow, or which temptation or which trial, maybe I would choose losing a car, you know, like maybe losing an investment. But this one, I totally say it's about God, because it's not that we did something wrong, and he's the giver of those children. So I have taken it like it's God working in us, maybe to let someone else know that yes, they're going through that journey, but at some point God gives you joy, because I
Yeah.
can't say it's something I did. it's not something we did and we say like, you know what, now we must be cheerful. It's just God giving you grace and joy such that you're going through it. He takes you through it, and once when you are on the other side, you look back and say, no, that was God. That was the hand of God, because by myself, singeweza. It's just God.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Giving us strength. Yes.
And for you too, David, I mean, of course it's still traumatic to lose. It's a child. It's your child, right?
Correct.
And so the third baby and the fourth baby, again having to deal with it yourself, but also comfort her. What stood out for you most, during those two experiences?
I think first of all, the consolation of having a baby already, I think was very helpful for me, I should say. But also the experience of especially the third baby. He was a boy. We actually carried, she actually carried the baby to term. But we had been prepared, because it was discovered through a scan that the baby was not very okay. He had an issue with the brain, had an issue with the heart. So of course we walked the journey from, I think, 24 weeks throughout the entire pregnancy. So of course walking through it helped us to also build faith that the same God who gave us the living girl can change the situation for the boy. Of course that was not the case, but I think also having a team of dedicated doctors who are sharing information with you, very super specialists, I should call them, but taking you through the journey, helping you, also getting a lot of support, because now this one we did not, we did it like with a group, especially from the moment we learned that the baby is not very okay. We went ahead and formed a prayer group with our pastors, our parents, the people whom we felt when our faith is failing, then this can carry us with their own faith. So of course walking through the journey, sharing their encouragement to us, now walking through it was a bit better and made it easier for me, so to be able to support her as she needed the support. So of course the delivery came, we delivered the baby passed on while I was again not in the hospital, because the baby was delivered alive, then died. Possibly she will share that experience just briefly. But then now I'm coming to find a lifeless body. But the way the baby also, much as he was lifeless, was handled at this now other hospital, which she also been mentioning, then it made the entire difference. So we are coming home, going through the journey, having a lot of support also from our people, the people that we had around us, helping us through, especially the church was very helpful. Our pastor, the people, I think one of her aunties who is a pastor also, and our mom, my mom-in-law, being there for us, praying for us, calling in, sometimes when we want to just close ourselves in, but helping us. So most of the times what would happen is I would shelve my own emotions for her, because as I said, we cannot compete to mourn. When she's mourning and then I have to come in with my own emotions, then it would seem to me like it's a competition. So I have to allow her to express herself, sometimes just take it in. When I have the temptation to respond, I can't respond. I have to just listen. Sometimes you want to just hear.
Were you able to find another outlet, though, for you to be able to express
At the time,
your
no,
emotion?
not as quite. Again, I think because of the assumption that men have always got it covered.
Which is not true.
Which is not true. In fact, if I were to speak, I would speak to ladies. We would have conflicts, because sometimes she's wondering, I am pouring it out to you, but I've never heard you talk about it. Does it mean you have? So she did not know per se I was protecting her, because when she's crying, I cannot come crying. I have to just listen. I have to take it in. Sometimes allow. But I think right now I know better. So of course, having been able to now talk it out, talk to people, share out the details, then it's of course been very helpful.
Right.
Yes.
And talk to me then about your marriage too, because I really salute you guys, because even the way you relate with, you can always tell a couple that is truly in love with one another, right? And I sense that from you guys. And despite these challenges, I do sense that, I mean, you guys are still, you're sticking together. Like, this is for better, for worse,
Yeah.
Yes.
right? Which is what your vows were.
Yeah.
And so I have tremendous respect for you, just even being able to carry your relationship to this point, especially for you as a man. Because a lot of times you hear these weird stories of, Ati, just because someone wasn't able to get pregnant, 24 hours after their wedding, wameachana, or they've gone through the loss of a child, and suddenly now it's like one person is not good enough for the other. Was your marriage itself ever strained by these challenges, and how did you overcome those to say, we're still gonna stick to our vows, we're gonna honor the vows that we made, and still keep pushing together?
I think it took a lot of patience from him, because especially when he lost the boy, I had high hopes. So I became bitter with God. I stopped going to church. I stopped praying. He's still praying, but you can imagine now I'm there wondering why even praying. He asked me, like, can you pray for food? I don't want, and I will not pray.
Wow.
No, I felt like my life went with the babies, and so we are here living, but I'm actually not living. Such that I had resigned, so I was at home that time. So he would go to work, come back, I'll take my stool. So when he goes, I take my stool, go outside. Nikae hapo nje nikiota jua, wondering whether I should eat, whether I should take a bath, because I didn't have life.
Yeah.
So vile aliniacha asubuhi, the same clothes
Anakukuta hivyo jioni.
ndio atakuja jioni anipate. And my life, I felt like it was like it was going away from me. The things that used to excite me, the energy I had gone.
So
with
David,
the babies.
it's like you had both lost a child, but also like your wife.
Yes.
Yes.
We would argue, like he would tell me, can you assist me the glass of water? How do I have the energy to walk from the sitting room, maybe to go and fetch water and bring him? Because I didn't have that energy. And so, because I didn't know how to express myself, I just tell him, please go and... just a cup of water would make us have such a huge argument, like we have lost $1 million, and it's just a cup of water,
How did you get out of that?
It said it's because of his patience. He was patient with me, and he didn't talk back. Sometimes he would just listen and go out maybe and come back.
Yeah.
And then we had supports from church and from my mom. She would visit and see how I'm doing, and she would ask me, would you consider doing this? And then she would bring some sense. And our pastor also, they kept talking to us, and I would just cry, and he was there, and they encouraged him to just hold on, just hold on. And now after I lost the baby, of course, I waited from 24 to 40 weeks. That was quite a big, I expected that something would happen. And now the dad was a 7 weeks miscarriage. So I went to Still a Mom. They do counseling. I went and did the counseling. That's why I started to understand men are different from women. Like they mourn differently. Because I always told him, I think you are not mourning. Because you are
expressing it in the same way.
Yes, you are not talking about the boy. I wanted to talk and talk and talk, and maybe say, by this time the boy would have been 2 months, 3 months. He was a very handsome boy, and him at some point I felt like you are not there. Even when I gave birth, that boy was alive. You didn't see him, so I used to blame him for so many things. When I went to Still a Mom, they took me through counseling, and he supported me to do it. Then I started coming back. I tell him, I'm enjoying this counseling. There's life. Then I started having life back. I went to church, and they started praying for me.
Yeah.
They showed me that there's a part that I'm missing. That, and I had put God out of my life. So I started allowing God to come, just to pray, even if I would just utter a word. God help me.
Wow, amazing.
Yes.
David, as we wrap up, I want to give you a chance just to speak out a word to couples that maybe have found themselves in a similar situation as you guys, having walked through the same journey or trauma. Maybe there's just one thing that you would tell them as you reflect upon your own marriage and your own experience. just because you guys are such a testimony. I know it's been tough and you're still, you know, on your way. But clearly there's a measure of God's faithfulness in your lives. And so maybe you can just share a word of encouragement with someone out there who perhaps is watching this with tears in their eyes because they can absolutely resonate with your story.
Thank you. One of the things I'd like to say is, regardless of what it is, the worst thing you can do is to part ways. That's for me. Stick together. That's the goal. Stick together. The test came to the two of you. So if you leave one, and then they are left vulnerable, they are left exposed, and they may actually never recover. So just stick together as one. Of course, keep your faith in God. He's faithful. I've seen that our daughter just turned 3 this December. And we are excited to have her around. We have been convinced more than ever that trusting in God is never in vain. He's been faithful. Thank you.
Thank you both so much for coming through to the show. Thank you for sharing your story. I think so many of us here are encouraged, even just to keep trusting God in the tough times. And you know, we bless you guys as marriage. We bless your womb and we bless your quiver. We trust it shall be full in Jesus' name.
Amen.
And so thank you again for coming, and God bless you guys as you continue to encourage so many other couples out there. You guys can pour out your love to these guys on our SMS line. 22999 is the SMS line. With that said, we need to take a short break now, but we'll be back with our final segment in just a few moments. Stay tuned.